Hey everyone, we are back once again with Horizon Zero Dawn.
We're finally approaching Horizon Zero Dusk. Finally.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is bad because we know this game doesn't handle lighting at night very well.
They got a bunch of floodlights from Walmart. They hang them from the sky ceiling. It's all cool. Yes. Anyway, so let's recap. We discovered that we're the second coming of Jesus Christ, and Gaia, aka God the Mother, wanted us to go to the Gaia Prime facility so we can get the manual override MacGuffin so that we can kill Hades.
Yep. Okay. That that sounds about right to me. Honestly, you could be reinventing most of this storyline between episodes, and I probably wouldn't be noticing as much.
How much?
What is Hades trying to do?
Destroy all life on Earth.
Yeah.
But how can it do that?
That's literally what it was built
That's
to do.
actually revealed in the course of this quest line, so...
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I'm still confused as to what the exact threat is right now.
Well, it's falling into
whether or
creeks,
not that
apparently.
is identified here, it probably should have been identified a touch earlier. I like to give people a good idea of how the world's going to end immediately, like a really good sense.
We know Hades is setting up this cult to take Meridian.
Nope.
There's some kind of, they're resurrecting old war machines, so there's like some hints of like what's to come, but this pretty much just comes out and says like, okay, here's what Hades' plan really is.
I don't think that works that well. I think that the horror
Well, it does if
and
Lance
kind of
Reddick is the one who's delivering it.
Well, what I mean is, like, I think that the horror of understanding, like, exactly what can go wrong and what stands to go wrong kind of gives more weight and meaning to what you're doing. When there's just, like, cold conspiracy for, like, for most of the storyline. And this is, like, what, 90% of the storyline at this point? 95%?
Yeah.
It creates a kind of... It's like you're acting to find out what the next part is, and the intrigue can be a good motivator, but, like, there's not actually, like, a sense of, like, a looming threat as much. Like, I think that's kind of absent when you don't have a... Can I help you, Josh?
It's why they...
This is one of the worst bits for trying to find climbing handholds. I can't. I literally did this yesterday, and I can't remember where the fucking start of this thing is.
To your point, Rutskarn, I think that's why they tried to make so much of the quest more about Aloy's personal journey and characters she meets along the way. It really is a series of little vignettes rather than an overarching narrative of stopping Hades. The Hades stuff sort of slowly gets revealed and isn't really unmasked until the very, very end.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, okay, so I guess I should say that I'm speaking about a specific kind of video game story, but I do think it's a kind of story which is very relevant to this kind of open world experience, where there's kind of you're going around, you're gathering resources, but you kind of have your eye on a prize, kind of have like your eye on an ultimate goal. It's legitimate to focus instead on Aloy. But I still think it would have been nice if there'd been like some kind, if we directly seen like some kind of means that was a little bit more like overt, that like created a stronger sense of threat, because I think that's one thing this game does kind of lack that would be useful for it. I mean, I say that I'm purely spectating, I'm not playing.
I don't think they intended Hades to like. I think they intended Helix to kind of be the real boss battle, especially given what we get with the Hades boss fight, which we will get to that at some point. Because like Hades isn't even revealed until like 2/3 of the way through the game. You don't even know he exists until you go crash the focus network.
I think part of the idea was to mirror Aloy's own education as much as they could. So you don't start off as they don't open the game with a backstory of, in the olden times, we fought the robots and we lost. And now we're telling you about the journey of the people who survived. Like, they open with Aloy's christening in this sort of hyper-spiritualist primitive society, and the idea is, I think, to go on Aloy's journey of discovery and learning what she really is and who she really is. And I think that's why they keep the Hades stuff buried a bit. But you're right, I think it does end with, like, a really vague sense of, how do I put this? They're going for literally the entirety of, the stakes. Literally the world is ending. All human life. Not Aloy's personal journey. All human life, all life in general is about to end permanently and forever. And the way they show this is a giant mech warrior comes out of the ground that you have to beat up in the middle of the game. Like, that doesn't feel world ending, that just feels like an asshole. Like, yeah.
Well, tangent,
Does the game make
but...
the argument that's like, you have to have faith? And what is Aloy's faith? And it's kind of stupid, but she does kind of... Oh, I hate it. I hate saying it, but she, like, questions her faith. And she puts her faith in this robot underground that she knows is, like, artificial and not this spiritual being.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if there was a bit of vague kind of Plato in the cave vibe going on there.
I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't hear Plato in the cave without snickering.
I know, it's terrible, but I mean, think about it, like, she goes into a cave and discovers the real goddess under the mountain and comes out knowing, the way the world really works as an enlightened person.
It almost
Maybe I'm reaching a
feels...
little bit, but...
Well, it almost feels like the game, we've talked about this from the opening of the game, where the game has two titles. It's Horizon and Zero Dawn, and those both mean different things. And it almost feels like there were some writers and or developers that were more interested in the wacky sci-fi aspects of this people versus robots, how do you repopulate humanity, the real logistics of it, and then other parts of the dev team are really more interested in this sort of world building for Aloy and what happens to the people here and now, rather than the people that have been dead for 1,000 years in the game.
And it's so hard to coordinate this sort of thing across an evolving project, and they almost always are evolving projects, with an evolving team, over an open world, still reach all of your deadlines, and coordinated with the concept art people, with sometimes it really does come down to high concept is developed first and pitched to publishers, and then stories kind of backfilled almost. And, I'm not saying that I particularly blame it for not really having all this, but I think maybe if they did have any kind of struggle, it would have been better to play it safe with a slightly broader narrative with a little more visible upfront stakes and maybe slightly fewer religious illusions.
I mean, I'll give the game this, and I
don't even have Frost Resist on her. Oh, wait, I do.
This is going to be fun. No, I'll give the game this, and I said this last time, at least it's consistent in what it's doing. Like, it knows what its metaphors are, it's just its focus is divided.
Yeah, and again, maybe I'm just speaking from my personal preference here. I'm observing the game, and it could have worked differently for different people, so don't take this as like I'm passing some kind of binding judgment on it. This is just my impression, I suppose. By the way, just to bring this full circle, because we are hopping around here and we're coming to the very end of this season, I actually, for the first time in about 15 years, went indoor climbing the other day.
Oh, He knows where
How'd
I
that
am,
go?
despite not being technically hostile.
It went pretty well. I felt like I was able to still get up those walls. But there was one disappointing thing. They don't play any more Bud Rock.
I'm sorry.
Oh, there's the other one.
Yep. I don't know what to say. I suppose I just fancied that I should return, and they would be blaring Creed throughout the silo, but nope.
Do they call it a silo? Is that a technical term?
If you put them in an abandoned silo, then yes.
Oh. Wait, you went into an abandoned missile silo?
Yes, an abandoned missile silo. Well, actually, not abandoned per se. More like there's one wing of it we don't need anymore because we fired the missile. Maybe. So there's just a bunch of
I legitimately can't tell if you're
there.
screwing with me.
America's infrastructure is crumbling. It's sad. You know, they gotta keep up the repair bills somehow.
Well, is it a missile silo or is it a grain silo? That's just really what I wanted the answer to at this point.
I think they actually store Twizzlers in there.
I hate fighting these things, by the way.
Damn it.
Oh no, but they actually played some kind of like art house indie rock, I want to say.
I want to pick up the gun. Give me the gun.
I didn't recognize any of it.
I was trying to make a joke, but then I realized I'm such a musical ignoramus. I couldn't name a single art house indie band.
For later.
Well, there's there's one recent one in case you ever need to drop one conversation and really impress people. But basically they're based on the B card deck, and they're called the B52s for 52 cards. So just if anybody ever asks you to name an indie band, just say I really like the B52s.
Okay, I think that's everything. At least for this part of the plateau.
Look at this.
I need to adjust my audio settings here very slightly, because on my end, the game balance is way louder than you guys, so that should have fixed it.
You're not
hear
hearing
any
our
difference in the recording.
sultry, beautiful, gossamer tones.
No.
Gossamer, nice. That's really good rushing water. That's an excellent effect there.
Have you seen the snow effects that they do in the DLC? Like, it
I can't say I have.
accumulates in volume, and when you walk over it, you leave, like, footprints and stuff. It's really cool.
That's neat.
Fuck, we're...
I
These
wonder,
handhelds? Okay.
as a console exclusive, I wonder how much of that stuff is, like, if not paid for by Sony, at least, you know, mandated by Sony that they do it.
Are they first-persons or first-party Sony developers, though? Like, are they owned by Sony or independent and they just make games for the PlayStation? Guerrilla Games.
I think they're owned by Sony.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, they are. They are. Their parent company is Sony Interactive. So yeah, I think they get told that they have to make certain cool console-pushing features
Oh,
that
that's not
are just needlessly sexy.
I don't have any...
It's
Hang
pretty
on,
cool.
let's- Make some frost potions here.
I have a bit of a tangent, which this seems like a good moment since Josh is about to get into a combat that'll presumably take a few minutes. Every so often I think about
first.
So when I think about like internet, when you think about internet video games and hype, and like maybe hype that's slightly illogical, what do you guys think of?
Define
What's the
internet
game?
video games.
Oh, not internet video games. Like when you think of video games and internet hype about the video games, like before their release, like what's the game that comes to mind?
There was that bit with No Man's Sky that everybody was super excited for that game right before it came out. I was like, this seems like they're promising a little bit too much. I'm skeptical about this.
I spent an unreasonable amount of time watching Smash Brothers character reveal trailers. Not trailers.
Damn, I
reaction
was gonna
videos.
say Smash.
Well, but I watched specifically the reaction videos, not so much like the Smash coverage itself. Because, like, if you watch some of those events where they've got, 5 or 10 or even 20 people watching the Nintendo Direct live, and then they unveil a character, the room erupts, and it's just the most amazing thing. And it's
I love
loud
those
and
videos.
terrifying.
Like those videos are awesome. I don't really care about Smash. I don't have no intention of buying the new one, but like watching those videos is awesome because they, like you're not gonna be like, okay, yeah, but the problem with this character reveal is that it perpetuates negative. No, it's fine. It's a new character reveal.
Well,
There's nothing objectively negative about it. So if somebody really likes it, like you get to share that for just a moment.
Well, but it only works for me in aggregate, because if you watch the individual ones, it starts feeling the same sort of performative hypeness that like the new Avengers trailers do, right? Where like someone watches an Avengers trailer and has a reaction video of just them, and it's always the most over the top like minor references or minor cuts to an action beat make them go, "Oh my god!" and freak out, and it becomes this whole thing.
Yeah, but that's really wholesome. That's much more wholesome than what I'm about to talk about a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I actually think about, when I think about video games and hype, I think about my own hype. Like 15 years ago, back when I really liked the video game Morrowind, back when that was like, popular video game by early 2000s standards, and not by like modern GTA 5 Skyrim standards, where like on the forums, there was like this weird, it was like the whole discourse on video games was not progressed to the point where people were cynical assholes all the time. And so everyone on this forum was 100% credulous about the new technology that was supposedly going into the new game. And everybody was like sharing this hallucination about what the game would be. And like when they announced there's havoc physics in the game, some guy's like, man, are they gonna apply it to the water effects? I wanna get in the game and see like water running in streams and collecting in droplets, like going down rooftops and gutters and stuff. People were like, oh man, that'd be so cool.
So pretty much exactly what I was talking about with No Man's Sky then. Like that,
Yeah.
They were vague enough with No Man's Sky that nobody actually knew what that game was until it happened.
Yup.
Or, hey, Spore did this. I remember being on the Spore bandwagon.
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly the kind of
Completely
place I
credulously,
expected to find
like
in
not
this
at
house.
all skeptical of it.
Years I tried to get
And then
through
that
this
game
edge.
did not turn out
I
well.
drilled, I burned,
No.
I blasted. But we both know that you won't have any trouble getting through.
You make it sound like I should have.
So we found Silent's
Not at all.
house, I guess, one of his
It occurred to me
workshops.
that the way through would not be with force,
Should we be able to hear him?
but with a key. A key in human
Yeah.
form.
Oh.
The failure of imagination.
Are you not able to hear anything?
Oh,
Not yours.
Oh,
yeah, I
I know
can't
why.
hear.
That's fine.
Because I can fix this. Hang on.
Oh, there we
The
go.
audio on the stream was set so that it was on a wrong audio device. Okay.
Okay, there we
It's
go.
like you've spent a lot of time here.
19 years ago, a great explosion destroyed this mountain. Gaia's death, your birth. The echo could be heard as far as the claim.
I wish I was
Ash darkened
born
the
via
skies.
explosion.
How they
Technically,
fretted
it was
over
more
this
conception
triumph
than
this
My
oath.
womb was a
took 9 more
boom.
The
months.
crater burned for weeks. But when it cooled, I was the first to behold what lay within. Over time, the machines closed ranks to protect it. Useful. Soon, no one dared to come here. Except me.
In her message, Gaia said we could restore her, but after seeing the damage, how could that be?
She said any effort to repair her must come after Hades is destroyed. I concur. Rebuilding
That
the
is an
terraforming
interesting
system now
question.
might
How
allow
on
Hades
earth
to
do
use
you
it
end
as a
up
weapon.
fixing Gaia
Because
after
of
all
that
this?
sacrifice, it has been forced to
Yeah.
search for means that are less convenient.
But do you think it's even possible to restore Gaia?
You know what
Like,
the
there's
clones are
exactly
capable
one
of.
computer scientist
How
in
they
this whole
fabricate
world, and
any
it's
technology
this guy.
necessary to create a machine. By the same principle, it should be possible to replicate
Surely
every
we picked up a
technology
thing or two
necessary
about
to repair
programming
Gaia.
from destroying all those robots.
Well,
Oh,
no.
yeah,
If you get to Gaia's cores, were they all corrupted and deleted to the point where they could never be repaired?
She blew up the nuclear reactor under her core, so...
No,
I
but
thought you
the
might actually be here
education computers that they were never
Actually.
allowed access
Oh.
into.
Why?
well, that
presence
also
is
will be
unnecessary.
addressed soon, so...
You don't need my help
Hang
to
on for
patch
that.
this door.
Are we further than you've
You
gotten,
were the one
Chris?
born to do this,
Oh, yeah.
not me.
Are we further than everyone's gotten here? Like, am I the
Yes.
only person who's seen this bit? Okay.
I've never
cool.
seen this
Yeah,
before.
so...
Yes. When you find the master,
I would have finished the game if my PlayStation hadn't died.
Hades.
Yeah.
Everything depends on you.
Now he's just gonna chill as a hologram. What's up? You want some chips or something? Beer? No? Okay.
Genetic identity confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr.
So he tried to blast his way through that door, which is a little confusing to me because like we're gonna walk out here and it's just like open space. Like couldn't he have just like set up a rappel wire and climbed it?
Logging arrivals. Shan Margot.
Welcome to Frozen Hell.
Mind your foot.
Population 10.
11 counting Gaia.
Don't count your chicken embryos before they're incubated, hon. She's still firing up. Be a while before you eat that omelet.
I'm vegan, Travis. You'd think we'd worked in the same secret base long enough for you to notice.
We weren't scheduled to shack up
Eat
here
that
for another
omelet.
3
Haha.
weeks.
How folksy.
Realize I just lost 350
Oh
kilos
my God,
of
I hate
pre-cooked
Travis
smoked
steak.
comics in transit.
Oh yeah, and of course because I rappelled down, it canceled the audio playback. Anyway,
Yeah.
but like
Oh,
this one
well.
is just up there. You think he couldn't have found a way to climb down to here? Like
Maybe not without
we got
robots
something we
seeing
gotta
him.
get over here.
Like, the implication was there were robots. I don't
Well, the
see any
robots,
robots.
they closed ranks outside. Like that was all the stuff we just fought through. Come on.
Oh lord, I just realized that, so the lighting in this area is very red, but the markers for climbing are orange.
Yes.
Yeah, and white. Look, we have a power cell.
There must be
That's
somewhere.
interesting. I don't know what that does.
I do.
Do you have a general sense about what a power cell does?
I'm pretty sure I know what it's used for.